tell people what you've done. There's so many people on Twitter and everywhere else that in their bio, they put some kind of obscure bullshit because they're afraid to brag on themselves.
Right.
And that sets them back in a major way because they want their ideas to stand alone. And the truth is, ideas don't stand alone.
Yeah.
Ideas are judged by everybody based on the quality of the source.
There's a lot of skills that go into being a creator. I think I talk a lot about like, oh, everyone should be doing this in some way. But there's two ingredients that you had that I think most people don't have. One is a lot of real world business experience to talk about, right?
Yeah, I have something to say on that.
Yeah, like let's dive into that because a lot of people come in and
everybody wants to build an audience. Like everybody says, oh, I want to build an audience. The truth is that everybody on social media is super selfish. They're scrolling social media. What can I extract from this person? The people that I want following me, the business owners, the entrepreneurs, the people who are very ambitious and do big things in the entrepreneurship world, they're selfish on social media. They're not trying to get a laugh. They're not trying to chuckle inside. They're trying to learn something. Mm-hmm. And so I realized that I had 3 seconds less. I had a half a second of somebody scrolling past my posts where they're thinking, what can I get from Nick? So I had to give them that. I had to show them, hey, this guy's actually doing something I can learn from. I have something to gain. So boom, they're selfish. I'm selfish because I want their attention. I have to give them what they want. And in order to do that, I had to be actually doing something. Everybody, oh, I want a following like Nick's. I want to build a bunch of followers. Nobody wants to follow you if you're not willing to actually do something. You look at the most followed people in the world. It's LeBron James, it's Garth Brooks, it's Taylor Swift, it's the presidents. It's people who are spectacular. It's people who they've done something incredible. They have built a skill set that's unbelievable, and therefore people follow them to learn something or because they've done it. If you try building an audience before you have done anything, it's a fool's errand, in my opinion, especially in the entrepreneurship space.
Yeah, there are definitely people who have done it, but you don't have the credibility. I think the best way to be interesting on the internet is to be interesting off the internet first.
Yep.
And then go from there. Because the other thing that stood out, like you could have come in and said, hey, I'm trying to do my first self-storage deal. Here's everything that I've learned. And you can take a quest or a journey approach to building an audience where you're saying, I'm here, I'm trying to go there, follow the journey.
Yep.
And that will work. And you'll get a lot of smart people helping you out along the way. But I think the reason that your stuff on Twitter really popped is because you're saying, this is what I've done.
Yep.
And being willing to be transparent.
Yeah, I started a student storage company in college. I was an Ivy Leaguer. All my buddies went and got jobs for $100,000 a year in New York City. I moved boxes. Mm-hmm. I ate shit for 5 years. I learned how to run a really hard company. I hired people, I fired people. We did almost $3 million of revenue in our peak. And I was in the trenches building a business. I was actually there, I was doing it. We had 300 part-time employees at our peak. We sold that company for 7 figures. And then I built a self-storage facility from the ground up for $2.5 million. It went really well. I bought another one with my own money at public auction. I wired $150,000 that I barely had to buy the second property. I had done some uncomfortable things from an entrepreneurship perspective. So therefore, the thing about advice on the internet is that everybody filters it based on the quality of the source. Mm-hmm. If you sit down here and get business advice from average Joe on the street, you're going to filter that. And if you sit down here and get business advice from Warren Buffett, you're going to hang on it a little harder.
Yeah.
Everybody filters everything based on the quality of the source, whether you like it or not. So I guess a side piece of advice here is, so tell people what you've done. There's so many people on Twitter and everywhere else that in their bio, they put some kind of obscure bullshit because they're afraid to brag on themselves.
Right.
And that sets them back in a major way because they want their ideas to stand alone. And the truth is, ideas don't stand alone.
Yeah.
Ideas are judged by everybody based on the quality of the source.
Because you post that thread and say, like, some of them have a lot of details in it, so it might tell the whole story, but others might be more general business advice.
Yep.
Then I'm immediately going to click through to the bio.
And my bio used to say, entrepreneur, bringer together of people, all the stuff that people put.
Yeah.
And people would see that and be like, this guy's not worth following. As soon as I changed it to, sold a business for 7 figures, built a real estate private equity company with 45 employees. We own 63 properties, 1.9 million square feet of self-storage. We've raised $40 million. We bought $100 million worth of property. The conversion rate from a good thread, I would get 3,000 followers instead of 1,000. Mm-hmm. That was massive for me. And it was uncomfortable to put a very arguably egotistical post.
To be bragging about that. But
so
that's what you have to do.
You have to be comfortable bragging on yourself.
Yeah, because people are saying, should I pay attention to you? And you're like, no, I talk about and it's like, all right, I won't.
Yeah.
And instead of you say, here's exactly why you should pay attention to me, then someone will go, oh, I don't care about real estate, self-storage, whatever. I'll move right along. And for the right people, they'll hone in exactly.
Social media is an interesting game. When you're trying to build relationships in a real person, I would never go to a dinner with my wife and tell everybody what I've done.
Yeah.
That's absurdity. But when you're on the internet and you're trying to get the attention of thousands of people, there's no other way. It's cringeworthy, it's uncomfortable. In person, I like to be very relatable, very humble. I don't brag on myself many of my friends in Athens don't have any idea what I do.
Yeah.
They don't know because they've never asked a question about me, and I'm sure as hell not going to tell them what I do. That's who I am.
Yeah.
But on the internet, you have to get over that.
Right.
So if there's one takeaway from this, that's it.
Big news, guys. I created a free PDF that details my method on how I analyze a self-storage facility and figure out what it's worth. Give me a pen, the back of a napkin, and a couple metrics, and I can figure out about what the property is going to be worth to me. If you want to download this PDF, click in the show notes, the first link, and you can give me your email address, and you get a email right away with 4-page PDF that outlines exactly how I think about underwriting or giving my initial analysis on a self-storage facility. Again, click the link in the show notes, and you're going to get that document for free. This episode of The Nick Huber Show is brought to you by RE Cost Seg. If you want to maximize your bonus depreciation and minimize your tax liability, make sure to do a cost segregation study on real estate you've recently acquired. RE Cost Seg offers the lowest priced, fully engineered studies in the business, and you get a virtual site visit with a quick turnaround. They did 30 plus cost seg studies for me over the past year, including a short-term rental along with my self-storage facilities. And I'm also an investor in the business along with my good friend and CPA Mitchell Baldridge, who you all know. To learn more about how bonus depreciation works, listen to episode 75 of The Nick Huber Show or visit recostseg.com to go ahead and get a free proposal that outlines the cost of the study and your potential savings. Thanks again, recostseg.com.